Okay, we're calling to order the Library Finance Committee meeting of July 22nd, 2024. We call it to order at 5:30 p.m. Let's take a roll.
Sure.
Mike Karalewicz.
Here.
Terry Barris.
Here.
I am here. Alan Alexandrovich. And Jennifer is here.
Here,
Yeah.
The library.
Are
the
you
library.
are you officially a member of the committee, or you're just the director of the library? You get involved in everything.
Yep, yep.
That's what I thought it was.
Yep.
We have no visitors, so there's no public comment. So can we take a look at the minutes from the May 16th meeting? And I'm looking for a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 16th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. You're taking, thank you.
All in
Then-
favor?
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We practically had that with the motion and second. Then, discussion of the budget. We had met and gone over it. The only changes to this is Jennifer and I went over some things that, little things like, oh yeah, that's right, we have a maintenance contract for the pickup stuff. And so we made those changes. I reprinted the budget. We have it here. Did anybody see anything that they would like to discuss?
Well, first off, the things that you have highlighted in yellow, those are things that are different from last time?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much different is the reciprocal borrowing number? Because it's a 2023 actual, so we would have had that for a while, right?
The 2023 actual, and then what we did, because the 2024 actual was like closer to
Well, the budget
59,000.
was the actual, yeah, the
Yeah.
50,
59,558
Yeah.
was the amended.
Mhm.
So at one board meeting, I don't remember what it was, everybody decided that they would want that budget number to be closer to like last year instead of,
yeah, and I had plugged in there for 25, 6, 7, and 8.
Going
29,
forward.
5, 5, 8, and then we talked about it and said, I don't know, you were uncomfortable going that high with it. So we took it down to 58,000.
And then just some dribbles of increase. Future ones saying,
we never know, could decrease, could increase. Yeah.
well, I think from the last board meeting, when I asked about that, the thought was, well, there's some different pile of money now that's being split up. So where we thought it was going to go down, now we should at least be kind of in the same area. So
Right.
you use that as a number rather than significantly dropping it.
It kind of depends on our people coming out here to use our library from
Yeah.
Greendale or there's such variables that we don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't know until October.
Yeah, maybe we make a note. Yeah, if we have conversations in the future on that, is there some statistic that we can look at? Like, I will go out and I'll be looking for a book. Okay, I have to put a hold on it. Okay, this came from Franklin. This came from Milwaukee Public Library. This came from wherever. So it's like, is the fact that people are putting things on hold, has that increased, the amount of stuff that is now,
Yeah.
there's just more action between the libraries, so we can anticipate that, just like we're getting stuff from other libraries are getting stuff from us.
We can, but the stuff that comes through the delivery is actually a much smaller percentage than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of reciprocal borrowing is people actually going physically to the library and checking out.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love it if MICFLIS maybe could give us like a mid-year update. I don't know, I can suggest it to Steve, where are we right now? Like if we stopped it right now, I don't know how difficult it is for them to run those that spreadsheet that they do.
Yeah, and then if you make the assumption that the back half of the year is going to be like the front half of the year,
But it may not be.
I don't know.
Are there
It's
annual
ridiculous.
trends? Of course.
I think, I'm wondering if the Loomis construction will hurt us a little bit. People who normally would come from Greendale may be like, well, I'm not driving through that construction. We don't know.
We'll do commercials. It's no problem. Watch.
Yeah.
Or just take it to
Yeah. So,
Drexel and then just pop in the other way.
yeah. Go down 76th Street. Yep.
Yeah, we've got all the city numbers.
Yeah.
Um,
We added the smart locker maintenance, but that starts in 2026, so that's not even a 2025 number.
the blue numbers, the city numbers, I haven't, these are Allen's numbers with a 3% increase, so I haven't
Right.
actually gotten the city yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah. We wanted to put something in there.
Yeah, these are holders.
Just like all the department heads had a due date for when they were going to get their department budgets in, is there a date when?
This will be done
This
before the
budget.
mayor looks at it.
Okay,
I've been
so
told.
the quote unquote city numbers we will have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Tom's working on it right now. So he asked me for an updated shelver and library clerk wage thing. So I know he's working on it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, anything else on this first page?
I didn't have anything.
Okay. Second page.
The questions you have, should we be fixing things like donations and library fines to a particular number?
Yeah, because it's hard to, those are really hard numbers to gauge one way or the other. So how much time should we spend chewing on that?
I mean, for Fund 16?
Yeah, we kind of flipped right through the 16.
Oh, yeah. I was going to mention something in Fund 15.
Okay.
Something I think you guys will be excited about. So, computer equipment, I have $40,000 for RFID replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I've been getting quotes already because I want to have numbers. So I've been getting quotes, and I think I could get that down to 26,000. And I can get equipment maintenance. That's where we pay out the maintenance for the RFID for the self checks and all the equipment we have. I'm gonna be able to get that down to 2,000 for,
Which number is that?
actually not 2,000, but equipment maintenance
What account?
5242.
5242, so it's back.
So
to
it would be the smart locker is adding 1,600. I think I can get that down to 3,600. I haven't finished getting my quotes yet.
You mean the total equipment maintenance,
Yeah.
3,600
Yeah,
from this 9 and 10,000
yeah,
we got?
yeah. Biblioteca is expensive, and I got a quote from a new company that Cudahy's using and Greenfield uses.
Especially since we're popping for Hoopla,
Yeah,
right? We got to have a trade-off someplace. So if we
Yeah.
can save some money someplace else,
yeah. So
cool.
yeah, so I'm getting next week I'm going to be meeting with another vendor, but the quote that I got today was less than 26,000 to replace the gates, to add a self-check in the children's department.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have 3 self-checks instead of 2. And then 6 workstation pads, the 4 that we currently have for the circulation staff, then we would add them at the information desk and the children's desk so that if they needed to, they could check people out as well.
Okay. So you mentioned Cudahy. How much standardization
Interesting.
is there in between? Because when you think about it, just like if you had a business, you'd say, okay, you departments are not going to order all your own. We're going to order as a corporation. We're going to order all this stuff, and then we'll, right? How much similarity is there that we're not taking advantage of already?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. We're keeping like system documents that we can refer to that talk about vendors that we use for different things. Because eventually, someday down the road, we would all like to use, because there's power in number, more people, maybe the cheaper. Like what Steve's doing with our database renewals. He's trying to he's getting system quotes instead of us getting an individual quote because it's going to be cheaper for us in the long run. So it's interesting you mentioned that because I was just talking to the library director at Greenfield today, and we were talking about this very thing, about how everybody's different with everything, not just equipment, but loan rules. How often we check things out, what kind of fines do we charge? We're all different. So.
Well, and that could be a good agenda item for a library directors meeting where you get together and you say, okay, let's just toss this out there for some consideration.
I know it's on Steve's kind of.
The benefits of moving
Yeah.
towards that.
I know it's in Steve, in his mind, because that probably would be a good thing for McFliss to take upon. I was on a committee once with Jill Leninger from Oak Creek, and we did all this stuff trying to standardize some of our special cards, like fee cards and teacher cards and business cards. And we took it back after all these meetings. We took it back to LDAC, and there were some libraries that were like, nope. So I was kind of like, well, there went all that work. Always seems like there's going to be somebody that says no. I got a little cranky in that meeting. But
I don't blame you, and usually what pushes people in a particular direction, especially if there are library directors that have to then report back to library boards, so you're not saving me money. You're purposely not jumping in with other libraries to save money. Why?
Sometimes it's because they just don't have the money for it in the first place. I bring that up as databases. I mean, there's some libraries that don't have very few databases because they just can't. Their budgets.
Well,
don't
and there's a
afford them.
big difference between standardizing and saying everybody has to have the same versus if you have this.
Right, and that's kind of where Steve, I think, is going with databases. If
Yeah.
you have it, let's try to get a system quote as opposed to an individual quote because
Yep.
that's where
Right.
the savings are.
Right.
So I think I think I can get those down.
Okay. Well, that's good. That is good news.
Yeah. So that's about $30,000 right there that we just saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what we saved it on, but that's awesome.
I know. I love it. It's with the RFID stuff.
Oh,
All right. So if we're, if we're looking at what donations have been, is there a reason to be that conservative? I mean, we're basically dropping to 25% for no reason, right? Is there any reason to believe that we would go down from 9 to 7?
Alan and I had a discussion about that, didn't we, Alan? Because I think Alan looked at what we've taken in so far this year
Yeah.
and multiplied it by 2.
Well, and I also that report that I put together that shows the first what we have done in 2024 and finishes the year off of 2023. And where is that one on donations? That's showing. Oh, yeah, the total donations is going to come out at $4,900. If we can, for the pace we're setting in 2024 and adding what we had at the end of 2023 onto that.
Okay.
So we decided to kind of, I think
We decided to
split the
flip it
difference.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if we bring in more donations, that just means that's more money that the library board can spend, but we may not know that until.
now that's straight donations, or is that donations through the foundation?
No,
That's straight
We don't
donations.
get any of the donations from the foundation except for that goes into miscellaneous revenue, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
miscellaneous revenue.
And you were saying that as opposed to them, we're looking to have new whatever, and that'll cost $1,000. Instead of giving it $1,000, they're going to go out and buy it. And
They have
give it
been
to us.
doing that
Yeah.
more often.
So even that's going to be going down from a revenue standpoint, but we won't have the expense on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Where
So-
does all the milkman donations go to? the
Foundation.
foundation.
Yeah.
So what about the fines?
Fines.
Has that been pretty consistent over the years? So we can say
Oh,
it's
they're
likely to
down,
be the
right?
same.
They go down. Yeah.
Well, our budget for 2024 was 18,000, and we're on pace to do 18,504
Oh, really?
on that sheet that I do with the 2024
Yeah, I know,
filling
I
out
just looked at
2023.
that.
But we get a quarterly bump of over $3,000, and
Yeah.
that's such a big part of it.
It's about
Oh,
20.
that keeps it
about
consistent.
23. It's about 2,300 this quarter. We haven't gotten the check yet. I just know that.
Okay, because January we got 3,088, and April, which we posted in May, was 3,183. But last year we were doing even better because we had a 3,500 and a 3,153. So maybe
I
we
feel-
won't hit the 18,005, but we should be doggone close to 18,000.
What does that
We hope.
represent? Those
Fines.
figures?
Fines and online fines.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised.
Fines paid in the library and online.
I'm
fines.
surprised considering it keeps getting easier and easier to
Well, that's why I
renew.
kind of think that it is going to go down. I feel like we are seeing less fines, but Alan says that
Yeah.
we're actually not
The-
doing too bad.
The numbers
so,
don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What's in miscellaneous revenue?
that's foundation
Yeah, which
monies.
So your question was why so much higher than 23? Why is it doubled?
the miscellaneous revenue, aren't we getting?
The foundation gave us more money.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the consultant for strategic planning, right? We're not getting anything that's hitting that.
No.
Okay.
Have you talked, since we're talking about looking at those things where we had a significant increase this year over the last couple of years, and a lot of it was, office supplies, printing, things like that, programming and that type of stuff. So are we budgeting such that we're anticipating that it's going to continue to grow? So at least putting a good expense number in there. And then what determines what comes out of 16 versus 15 if we're talking about printing or programming or whatever?
So the printing comes out of 16 if it's done at the public printer or the copier, because that's the account that we pay the copier lease and the
Sure.
copier lease is on. So
Okay.
we pay out and we bring the revenue in to kind of cover it.
Mm-hmm.
The Fund 15 printing is the stuff the staff does on the staff printer. And that also, staff printer also gets paid out of Fund 15.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the big one. That's the one that we really use a lot for all of the stuff to do on the kiosks and anything else that gets put out.
Yeah, we have done strategies in the last, because I got that one bill that was so large that I about had a heart attack. And so we don't print the quarter sheets, we print less of them now, and we refill them as they run out,
Uh-huh.
instead of doing like a whole bunch and then maybe having some left over that we have to
They are
use
very
for scrap
helpful.
paper. So we've been doing that. That's kind of helped.
That's one of the
Um,
biggest
Sarah?
things in all those sessions that people said that's how they hear everything.
Sarah,
Yeah.
when I talked to Sarah, she went and she got the booklets, her, programming booklets for children's. She got them down like to 2 pages so that they used to
that's
be
helpful.
bigger. So, that when you're printing a lot of those,
Yeah. Everybody said
Saving
they really
one
like the
page?
little ones.
the little quarter sheets.
Right on the counter, sticking
The
on
ones
the
that take
bulletin
the
board
most
and-
staff hours.
When we're looking at things that are on 15 and 16,
Yeah,
library materials,
yeah.
what differentiates it from going into 16 versus 15? Library materials is 58, 16.
Well, because I think how that started, it's kind of one of those things that's been that way all along, but I think that why it started that way is when we have lost books or damaged books, they get, when people pay for them, the money gets deposited in Fund 16. So the library board, this was before me. I'm not sure if it was before you or not. So the library board said, well, just put a budget line for materials in there, and that'll cover all of your loss and damage stuff.
Except when we had the meeting and I was saying in 16, library materials, we always way spend what we budget. Like 2023, it was 16,067, and we're budgeting 11,300
Oh.
for 2024. Part of the reason we have to budget that way in 16 is because whatever we're showing that we're going to generate in revenue, which is 62,800 in 16 for next year, is what we have to hold our expenses to.
Oh, yeah.
And so then we just reduce the library materials in 16
Yeah.
to a number that's not realistic, in my opinion. But I noticed, and I made the comment in my report here, that library materials in Fund 16 was zero this past month.
Yeah, the foundation, this is they gave us the rest of the Friends money. So we got $9,300 from the foundation. So they paid pretty much a lot of the books,
So they bought the books,
the invoices in
or did they pay
June and
the
July.
invoices, whatever
In June
came
and
in?
July. Mhm.
Okay.
But that's money left over from when it was the Friends or
And
whatever.
it's gone after this year.
Well, I was looking at that and saying, what a good idea. Don't run all those library material purchases through 16. Run what you have to. Now, if we're getting money in for books that were lost or destroyed, and we're repurchasing those books, it's probably just way too much work to try and pull those specific items out.
Which is why they just had a blanket number they put in there. I mean, you could move all library materials into Fund 15.
Yeah,
Good.
I think that's a great idea. Then we don't go over budget, and we're not playing around with, we only got 62,000 in revenue that we're budgeting. That's all we can spend in 16, because it gets its money from that.
Because they're both in 15 then.
Yeah, so then all the
They'll
library
cancel each
materials
other.
will go to 15. It eliminates budgeting problems, and having it broken out doesn't seem to really generate a benefit.
So what you're saying is you want me to move?
Yep.
Let me go to
I'm
that.
recommending that,
We move library materials of $12,040 into Fund 15.
no, I wouldn't change it on the budget, but just when you spend it, don't
Spend it out of
post
15
it.
first?
Yeah, spend it on 15.
Spend it out of 15, and then any overage goes into Fund 16.
Yeah. You could do that.
Okay.
I'm looking at the red numbers at the end of 15,
Yeah.
the net. So if we go all the way across and we add all of that up, how does that compare to what we currently have for the fund balance?
I don't know. That's something that we do that we haven't done in the budgeting process, or I don't have.
It would
in
just
my
be good for
spreadsheet.
an information piece,
No,
like
I
looking
agree.
forward from
I
planning.
completely
Yeah.
agree.
You know,
Maybe next month I can.
I'll make note here, and I'll change my spreadsheet so we can start with the fund balance and run this number through and see what it does to it.
That'd be
Yeah.
good.
And you can make those changes to the computer and to the maintenance.
The
equipment
20,
maintenance.
the 26,000 versus 40,000
Yeah.
on computer equipment, and the 3,600 versus whatever we have
Yeah.
out there now. Yeah, but cut it right at.
And actually, you don't even have to do that because our next year with this company I got the quote from,
Yeah.
the maintenance agreement for the first year is free. So
like that kind of thing.
all you really need in there is $1,800 or $1,600.
And actually, that doesn't start till 2026. That's what you told me before.
No, we paid every year.
$1,600 for the
Yeah,
things we pick up outside.
2024, 2025, and 2026. Yeah, and then it starts over again.
Oh, I could have swore you told me that this starts, add smart locker at $1,600 per year in 2026. But that's when it was gonna start.
That's when it ends. It goes through 2026.
Oh, start, end. I always get those confused.
It starts in it started in 2024, so 2024, 2025, and 2026 are the 3 years, and then they'll probably raise the prices on them, and we'll have a new.
Okay, I'll make that change too.
You've
So
got
we-
a lot of free Intel things, right? 'Cause the phone,
Yeah,
the security stuff, doesn't that only have so many years until,
he was going to do as much as he could, and then
yeah.
so next year this number in red 107,710 should be significantly reduced. That's
Yes.
a good thing.
So the changes, we've got
Well-
the
It depends what the mayor gives us too, because
Yeah,
that's,
that's true. You're assuming. Yeah, we are.
that we're
Assuming.
getting,
Yeah.
so why don't we summarize what we got for changes? So we got the 26,000 is for the computer equipment,
changing the
For
40,000
the
to 26.
RFID. Yeah.
and then the equipment maintenance was going to be 3,600.
It's going to be 1,600 now.
1,600 in 2025, and in 2026,
It will be.
Are we talking about the Fund
2,000.
15 one?
it'll be two.
Because you
2,000
gave me a
Yes.
number of 3,600 before.
Yeah,
I forgot that the first year of maintenance is free. So
Okay, so it's the 1,600.
yeah,
Okay.
and then after that, it's gonna be, well, we don't know because,
2,000,
well, 2,000, but there's gonna, Smart Locker's gonna have a maintenance fee.
1,600.
Yeah, but you said it ends in 2026, we don't know what they're gonna do with it.
Right.
So, we'll
When
leave
does
it
end
at,
the
we'll leave it
beginning
at,
or the end of
we'll leave it at
2026?
3,600, because it's out there in 2026, I mean, so,
Okay.
okay.
I think all the other numbers we're just going to keep the same, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, well, we're going to finish up our meeting.
Oh, no, we didn't know either. Have a seat. I can move.
Okay, are we gonna, this is when we make these changes, this is what we're gonna recommend to,
Right.
okay? Then, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I missed it.